Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My constituents and Americans across the country are struggling under the rising cost of gas, groceries, and electricity from President Trump's tariffs and endless wars. We should be spending our time finding ways to lower costs for families. Instead, we are moving on legislation that is just another chapter in the Republican playbook to gut common sense safeguards for energy development. I am a strong supporter of geothermal energy. Geothermal is a clean, reliable, affordable, and abundant form of electricity. But unfortunately, I have to oppose H.R. 5587, the HEATS Act, on the floor today. This is a complex issue. The bill waives the requirement for a federal drilling permit if a project starts on private or state lands and then drills underground into federal lands, provided the total project is made up of less than 50% federal subsurface land. The bill says these projects don't need to do any analysis under the National Environment Policy Act, or NEPA. They don't need to comply with the Endangered Species Act, and they don't need to comply with the National Historic Preservation Act, so long as the state has any law that vaguely, and I quote, addresses the preservation of historic properties. The majority says that this is about reducing duplicative reviews, but I see it as an irresponsible waiver of the federal government's obligation to steward our federal resources. Because in practice, this means that in areas where the federal government owns the underground mineral rights, but a rancher owns the surface rights to graze their cattle, or a farmer to grow their crops, underground development could take place without that landowner even knowing and without sufficient protections in place. The permit to drill process is the process surface landowners use to work with developers to make sure their lands and resources, like groundwater they depend on for their wells or springs, are protected when developers are drilling into federal minerals. And we're not talking about developers just tapping into a few feet of underground federal lands. Geothermal wells can extend horizontally for kilometers. While geothermal energy is exponentially safer than oil and gas development, that doesn't mean that developers should just skip their environmental reviews altogether. Landowners and communities have the right to provide input into how public lands are developed, whether that development is on the surface of the land or below it. Again, I am a strong supporter of geothermal energy. It provides 24/7 carbon-free energy and creates good jobs in the clean energy economy. For decades, geothermal energy was confined to naturally occurring hot water reservoirs, but recent technological breakthroughs have created next-generation geothermal systems that can be deployed in a wide range of conditions at competitive prices. At this rate of innovation, low-cost, next-generation geothermal could soon be possible all across the country, not in decades, but in the next few years. This could be truly transformational for our energy system. Paired with wind and solar, geothermal can help us break free from fossil fuels and build the reliable, homegrown energy system that we need to fight climate change and tackle the affordability crisis. I have a bill, the Geothermal Gold Book Development Act, that's part of a package of 6 bills, 3 from Democrats, 3 from Republicans, that the Natural Resources Committee passed out of committee by unanimous consent. These bills, including my own, would all help make permitting easier for geothermal through common sense ways like increased coordination at BLM field offices, cost recovery authority, and some categorical exclusions that already exist for oil and gas development on previously disturbed lands. Those are the kinds of things that we should focus on that will actually help move the needle on projects. I've heard arguments that we should provide these waivers so that the Bureau of Land Management's limited staff can focus on bigger problems. I agree that staff in BLM field offices are overworked and understaffed. But let's be honest about the situation. The Bureau of Land Management doesn't have enough staff because the president continues to try to zero out the budget for renewable energy. And former presidential aide Elon Musk kicked off across-the-board staff cuts. You cannot break the system, then blame the broken system as your excuse to waive the law. When we waive those federal review obligations, we end up relying on a patchwork of state laws. Under state laws, what happens to the government-to-government consultation responsibilities required by the National Historic Preservation Act or federally protected endangered species? What if a state doesn't provide opportunities for public input or even public notice? Again, I strongly support geothermal energy development on our federal lands. It's a very promising and growing source of energy, but instead of spending floor time on geothermal legislation that everyone supports and could help stop skyrocketing electricity bills, we're debating a bill to solve a problem that may not even be a burden on the industry. I'm happy to continue to work across the aisle to advance geothermal legislation, but unfortunately, I must oppose this legislation. I reserve the balance of my time.